Herod-DeVerges, a clairvoyant medium who practices, teaches, and mentors the Essene way of life. I have helped thousands of people internationally through energy healing processes so that they can live their life for more practical, more loving, peaceful, and joyful experiences. I've also founded Center of Light Miracles, a spiritual organization that helps you to become more aware of the miracles that take place in your life every day. I'm sure that you have had experiences in life where you have felt absolutely phenomenal, where you've been over the top and just experiencing being alive, being so vibrant. That's what I call being high on life. And being high on life in such a way that in those moments, you actually experience being in heaven. Well, once you come down from that experience, which often doesn't last very long, it might be a few moments, a few hours, maybe a day, but it then feels very much like a letdown. Like, wow, I want to have that feeling again. I want to be alive and high on life. So you might be wondering, how can I actually be able to maintain those moments so that they last not just for minutes, hours, or a day, but can last for days, for weeks, for months, for the rest of my life? Well, I'm going to talk to you today about a concept that's often used in psychology, but when understood from a spiritual standpoint, can really help liberate you and assist you in being able to have more of those moments where you're in heaven. The concept is programming and conditioning. Programming and conditioning, when you first think about it, may sound like programming a computer. And if that's what you're thinking, then you're absolutely right. It is very similar, but there's a twist to it. The twist is that when you are programmed and conditioned in any way, you're actually being set up and have created belief systems. So when there are belief systems that are made, there are emotions that are attached to them. Did you know that for every single experience you have, there's an emotion attached to it? And it's the emotion that actually calls new experiences into your life. And I'll explain a little bit more about how that works later on. So it's important that you want to begin the process of learning what this programming and conditioning is and how it really creates belief systems that then are attached to emotions. Because everything in your life, everything is predicated upon that. And these are the absolute core aspects that will help you either be high on life or will have you come crashing down. From the moment of birth, you receive information about this world, who you are, what family you belong to or don't, and how you're thought about. You receive information about one of these aspects constantly. All of this information comes from sensory perception because you haven't learned the ability of reasoning yet. So you study faces and expressions as well as behavior and mannerisms. And with each of these experiences, as someone is saying coochie coochie coo, just a few feet from you as you're being tickled, an emotion is attached to it. As an infant, you look at the gestures, you hear the tonality of the words, and you emotionally associate the feeling of what's happening with that experience. During your entire lifetime, you are constantly picking up signals and messages that have feelings or emotions attached to them, moment after moment after moment. Well, what I just described in terms of how an infant actually begins programmed because of what they see, what they hear, what they touch, what they taste and feel, is just one way that the family actually begins to program you. It's a one way that the family begins to condition you to believe certain things. It doesn't stop there. It also goes into education. Schools tell you what you should learn, how you should learn. And of course, we have all sorts of experiences in school with our best friends, our teachers, the principals, and so on and so forth. And we continue to receive information where we're conditioned and we're programmed through society. How we should think, how we should behave, what we should do, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. There's often the understanding that this group thinks this way and that group thinks that way. And you're part of this group, so this is how you must think. But remember, with every single way that you have been programmed or conditioned, because this information is fed to you over and over and over again, emotions are attached. And those emotions run a wide gamut: depression, joy, sadness, guilt, jealousy, apathy, fear, anger, and on and on and on. And for every single emotion felt, it has a power punch, if you will, behind it, because this is often what we naturally respond to. So then the question remains, the way that you have been programmed and conditioned, are you really living your life, or are you living the life that has been fed to you? Well, the answer to that, of course, is yes. I'm living the life that's been fed to me. And so there is a way that you can begin to take ownership and take power over the way that you have been conditioned unawareingly, so that you can then begin to have control over your life. But I want to give you a little example, though, of exactly how experiences from your belief systems and those emotions attached to them can affect you in what you're doing today. Now, let me share something with you of a personal nature, something that you might be able to relate to. When I talk about programming and conditioning, and how your past experiences really have an effect on what's happening now. I'm sure you know what it's like when you're enjoying a great experience, right? Something like you're out to dinner with a very special person. The ambiance is perfect, the dinner and drinks are perfect, the conversation is perfect, the company is perfect, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is really perfect. And no sooner do you think that when all of a sudden you start feeling strange. Instead of being emotionally happy, you begin to feel anxious. Then you start looking at the person sitting across from you with distrusting eyes. You have flashes of an ex-relationship come up in your mind, and what you remember most about the ex is that you were betrayed and then dumped. The relationship was perfect with the ex until that tragic moment when the betrayal happened. Now, honestly, in this example, it's a different person you're with. Someone who is nothing like the past relationship. And yet, the emotions of fear, distrust, betrayal, uncertainty, and pain brought on by your past experience come barreling to the surface. This is how emotions attached to conditions program you from your experiences. Even when you don't have a conscious memory of past experiences, the emotions and feelings attached to those memories surface like smelly fish gone bad, even when you don't even see the fish. It's those unconscious emotions that come barreling up to the surface. And this is a problem, because you're in the middle of connecting with a great person with who you may have a bright future with. But when you bring the emotions of a past relationship into it, your energy changes. That energy change can cause you to say or do something that sabotages the moment and eventually the relationship. I'm sure you see where I'm going with this. This is only one example. And if you're not able to relate to this one, I'm sure there are other experiences that you can relate to. The bottom line is this: You have been programmed and conditioned in a way that creates those belief systems and belief systems that you have established about yourself and about the world. Belief systems like, I'm a happy person, I'm ugly, I'm beautiful, I'm loved, no one loves me, I'm excited, I'm smart, I'm not so smart, I'm dumb, oh, I'm clumsy, I'm awkward, I'm graceful, and on and on and on. And of course, the belief systems that we started to develop in terms of the world is a full gamut. Everything from the world is a terrible place, to the world is a place that will love and nurture you, to the world is just a place where there are so many of those people doing all that stuff and I can't be bothered with that. That's not how I think. All right? We have all sorts of belief systems. We believe that there's not enough to go around, whatever that enough is. We may believe that, this famous expression, money doesn't grow on trees, and therefore there's always lack that's around us. There are all sorts of belief systems that you have, and again, for every belief system there is the emotion. Now let me just really paint a picture for you of exactly how this works. You have an aura. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe not. But your aura surrounds your physical body. And it's an electromagnetic energy field. It acts like a giant magnet, and it's very powerful. Your aura is also your mind. It has in it your conscious mind, the information that you take in that you're aware of. It also houses your subconscious mind. Everything you take in consciously goes into the subconscious. The subconscious then stores and houses the information and then brings it back out at various moments in time. And the aura also houses your superconscious. That's where you, as a divine, beautiful spirit, which is the essence of who you really are, also dwells. So you have the entire mind, universal mind, if you will, housed in your aura. So whatever you believe, whatever experiences you have had, and whatever the emotions that are attached to those experiences, they are in your aura. Now, because your aura acts like a giant magnet, and you have these belief systems and you have all of these emotions, what do you think happens? I know you've heard of the law of attraction. Like energy attracts like energy. So your aura is always attracting to you energies in the way of experiences that continue to perpetuate belief systems that may no longer serve you, that continue to perpetuate mindsets that don't really work for you. And so what happens is you end up having a huge library, if you will, of all sorts of experiences, so that when you have the perfect dinner, as I just talked about, all of a sudden that anxious feeling you get, that sense of sadness that comes up, causes you to sabotage a wonderful experience for yourself. Well, we're going to be talking a lot more about how you can actually begin shifting and changing that. But first, I want to explain to you a little bit about what core experiences and then core issues are as they come out of your belief systems and mindsets. As I just mentioned, in essence, the original experiences that form the belief systems and specific emotions are considered to be core experiences. Out of those core experiences arise core issues, where subsequent experiences are attracted to the core. Like bees crowding around honeycomb, one by one, they are attracted to the sweet smell until it's overrun with bees and the honeycomb is no longer distinguishable. The honeycomb represents the core issue created by the bee family community. And each bee represents belief systems that make up different parts of the community. When a bee goes out and comes back to the honeycomb, it's equal to brand new experiences because of the nectar and whatever else it may have picked up out there and brought back to the core. So after a while, all of the bees around the honeycomb create a larger issue, a more powerful issue. So let me give you another example of exactly how this works. There's a woman, say she's about 42 or so, and she is having some financial challenges. She was told when she was very young by her much older siblings that she wasn't all that special. You're not all of that. And she was also told by them that she was a mistake. Her parents didn't mean to have her. And it was because of her that the family was struggling financially. Now, she was told this over and over and over again. Although she didn't necessarily remember those words or remember what her siblings had said to her and told her, she figured it must have been true because she wasn't able to get some of the toys or have the same kinds of clothes that friends of hers who went to school with her had. She always heard her parents arguing about money and what the family needed and didn't need and the bills that had to get paid. And so she figured that what her siblings were telling her about herself must have been true. It's my fault. I'm the one they're struggling financially. They really didn't want me anyway. Oh my God, I'm feeling very sad about that. Guilty, unloved, unaccepted, shamed. I feel that it's all my fault, so I have all this blame. Now, she wasn't necessarily thinking all of these things consciously, no. But because of the conditioning and the experience, it was still going into her space as a core issue, where she began to believe unconsciously that she wasn't all of that and she couldn't have very much. Well, as she grew older, she did get a great paying job. And the job paid her so much that she was able to, save quite a bit of money. She was able to live a particular way. But she always felt a little fearful because at any point in time, I'm supposed to be struggling financially. I'm not supposed to have all of this. Well, as a result, because of that belief system and that core issue that she had around money, she found that she broke her glasses by sitting on them by accident. She ended up getting a flat tire on her car, and no sooner did she get the tire fixed than the engine blew out. No sooner does she have to now rebuild the engine, but she ends up breaking a tooth because she's eating something that was so hard when she bit down on it, it broke the tooth. She goes to the dentist, and the dentist tells her, you know what, you need some other work done, and we're going to have to put a bridge in, and so on and so forth. So the money that she had saved up started to dwindle bit by bit by bit by bit until there wasn't much left. And at the end of all of these so-called catastrophes that came up, her job laid her off, like so many people have been laid off over the past few months. So here she is in a situation where she was in a position where maybe she felt like she could start having something for herself, but because of her belief system, that core issue, she actually called to herself the types of experiences where she couldn't have a lot financially. Her savings had to end up being dwindled. It turned out that she wasn't able to keep that good paying job, but after unemployment ran out, she had to take something, so she ended up working a job that didn't pay her even a quarter of what she used to make. So now she's riddled with guilt because she can't pay her bills. And what she does pay, you know the expression, rob Peter to pay Paul? That's what she had to do. She found herself unable to pay some of her credit cards on time. So now she had those, late fees that add up and rack up more debt. So it appears in many ways on the surface that maybe she was a victim of circumstances, that perhaps things just weren't going well for her. And after all, we've all been in those situations. Good person, bad situation. And how could this happen to such a good person? It's because of the initial core belief system that she wasn't special and that the financial struggles that her family endured were her fault. So of course, from that belief, from her believing that she was a financial jinx, shall we say, that she was someone who could not really have the life that she wanted to become accustomed to, all of these experiences, these situations and circumstances were created so that she could live according to her belief, so that her belief system could be true. This is how, when you have a belief and you have core experience that attracts other experiences to you, it seems as if your whole life is nothing but a struggle, which of course what happens creates a brand new belief system, because now you've been conditioned to believe that life is supposed to be a struggle, right? So this is how these core experiences create these belief systems that absolutely continue to attract other experiences to us in a way that is undesirable and that seems to make our life so much harder. Now, as I've been talking, I'm sure you have been thinking in your mind about some of the belief systems that you have and how your core experiences have called issues to you that are not necessarily serving you anymore. And you would be correct at that. And there's a way to change it. There's a way to actually clear away those old belief systems and core experiences and issues to allow for more positive belief systems and to experience the types of emotions that would be attached to them that you want to experience. Those emotions that actually allow you to be high on life and that allow you to be in a place of heaven. Now, I have come up with a wonderful process that actually takes you through step by step by step, clearing those old belief systems and therefore replacing them with new ones, where you'll be able to absolutely shift and remove the core experiences that you've had and replace them with exactly what you would like to have in your life so that you can move forward. I'd like to start off though right now by giving you an exercise, a tool that you may use in order to begin clearing some of these belief systems and these core issue blocks. So this is how it's done. I'd like for you to be seated as you are with your feet flat on the floor. Have your hands in your lap and make sure your back is straight. And now close your eyes. This is a visualization that will help you to begin releasing some of these core belief systems. And just take a couple of deep breaths, nice and easy, from the tips of your toes all the way up through your spine to the top of your head, and exhale, just letting the air out gently and easily. And one more time, a nice deep breath from the bottom of your feet and tips of your toes up through your spine to the top of your head, and a nice gentle exhale all the way out. Very good. And now imagine that you are sitting on a tree trunk. Imagine you're sitting on a tree trunk. And this tree trunk is very solid, very strong, very sturdy. And it has roots that actually go all the way through the floor. They penetrate through the earth and go all the way down to the core and the center of the earth. Very long, very strong, very sturdy roots. And now just allow yourself again to take some nice and easy deep breaths. Very gentle, very easily. And with every exhale, let yourself let go and release any tension. And another inhale, and as you exhale again, allow yourself to let go of any stress that you may be holding on to in your body. And as you continue to breathe, let yourself release any emotions that may be bubbling to the surface right now. Whatever it is, just imagine you're letting it go as you would be pouring water out of a pitcher. Just as easily letting it go as if you were pouring water out of a pitcher. And let that tree trunk absorb everything that you're letting go of. And as you continue to breathe, you are also letting go of any tension that you may be experiencing in the way of any little pings, pongs, discomfort, pain, urges of any kind. Just continue to breathe, relax, and let it go. Very good. Excellent. And now imagine a beautiful golden sun is surrounding your entire body. And let this gold sun just really, really, really be as bright as possible. And I want you to absorb it, to soak it up, to experience the warmth, the love, the nurturing, the abundance, the health, the peace, the joy, and every and anything else that you would like to experience. It's all part of this wonderful, warm sun. And embrace this sun, soak up its energy and its rays until you are experiencing the light of the sun radiating from within you. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Excellent. Now, this particular technique is a form of visualization, as I said, and it's actually a way that you can begin meditating. And what's so great about this technique in helping you to release some of these belief systems is that that tree trunk with those roots that go all the way to the center of the earth actually call out the negative emotions and belief systems and experiences that you've had. Whether you're consciously aware of it or not is unimportant, because most of what you have been experiencing in your life and most of the belief systems that you have are completely unconscious. You're unaware of it. It just is so deep within your core that it's always working. Now, by breathing, it's one way to release that energy. And then when you envelop yourself with that beautiful golden sun and all of these wonderful things in that sun, you know, that's your pure essence. And as your pure essence, it gives back to you all that you would like to have and all that you would like to begin experiencing life from. Now, this is just one exercise. There are many exercises, and again, I have mapped out step by step by step the way that you can absolutely, very quickly move into that core and be able to clear the way of those old belief systems, clear the way of the emotions that are attached to them that, again, don't serve you anymore, and that give you an opportunity to really live much more peacefully, much more joyfully, and definitely from a place of love. So I encourage you to begin this process or to deepen the journey that you're already on so that you're able to live and go toward heaven. Be high on life. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to all of those around you because you are a divine, perfect, spiritual, and beautiful being. Clear the way, and you will be able to experience the life that you've always wanted to live.